Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I want to ask you one question. If you had to pick one word to describe your feelings on the Star Wars sequel trilogy from Disney, what would that word be? Let me know in the comments below. And check out these 5 things that I believe Disney did totally wrong with the sequels. Now, we know that when Disney purchased Lucasfilm, they put in motion the idea to make these sequel movies. It was a beautiful time of a lot of hype. And in retrospect, my word for the sequel trilogy is regret. No personal regrets, but I regret how they turned out, and just the fact that a few simple, common sense practices could have been put in place that would have made them a lot better. I think they focused more on the idea of wanting to do a sequel trilogy than actually putting in the work to make sure it was done in a way that was satisfying for everyone. So the first thing is so they started off with 3 different directors, right? You had obviously J.J. Abrams starting it off, handing it off to Rian Johnson, and then handing it off to Colin Trevorrow. We know that later in the process, Colin Trevorrow was fired or separated from the project, and J.J. Abrams was brought back to put together a finale. Not having a solid plot outline for the 3 movies, and allowing each director to kind of take it in different directions was a poor decision in retrospect. I think it was a poor decision at the time, but I think once you see the end result and you see this chopped up movie that kind of goes all over the place, with starting off in one place and then someone undoes these ideas and takes it somewhere else, and then someone else comes in and undoes those ideas, and you know what I mean. The process continues. I'm not trying to get worked up about it. It's just frustrating. You got to have an outline to go into making, a trilogy that's crucial, that people have been waiting on for generations. So that's the first thing. Second thing, not having the big 3, Han, Luke, and Leia, while these actors were still active, still willing to come back for these roles and perform, not having them be reunited in a scene is one of the most cardinal sins of Disney Star Wars. I get the story they were trying to tell with Luke, and, Leia's position made a lot of sense, and Han, but just splitting them up and having them all be different parts and pieces and never having them come together for one big moment is such a missed opportunity, and that hurts me. Number 3 is Finn. I think we can all agree there was a lot of misdirection with the marketing of Finn. The trailers have him with the lightsaber, like, oh, he's going to be a Jedi, he's going to be, a prominent character. And it kind of starts off with him, okay, he might be a little force sensitive, he might, end up training, and then it seems like as the trilogy went on, he kept getting phased to the background. They didn't really know what to do with him. They just kind of have him running around and going on side quests, and they barely even touch upon the force ability thing. It's like 2 throwaway lines in episode 9 that kind of quote-unquote confirm it. Another missed opportunity right there. Number 4, Snoke. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole, theories about Snoke that really blew up, and I was so into those. I thought he had the potential to be some really cool backstory, like legendary character. But just the fact they brought him in, kind of tease him in the first movie, and then in the second movie, he comes in, he's powerful, he's intimidating, and he gets killed off without ever really doing anything. There was no great build-up. The original trilogy had the build-up to Palpatine, Palpatine being the final puppet master. Having Snoke kind of just be this villain and then a placeholder for Palpatine, was really not a good idea. They could have crafted him to be a much bigger villain. They could have brought in a different villain, but they could have had a better antagonist, someone for this ending to the Skywalker saga to really feel, grandiose. And Snoke was a disappointment. Number 5, and this is a little bit controversial because I know people feel different ways about the original expanded universe, but I think completely eradicating the expanded universe that existed at the time with the books and the comics and all these different writers that contributed to it, I think not taking ideas from there, at least not trying to repurpose some of the ideas, characters, themes that existed, it could have given them a good starting point, and the fact that I think they actively tried to avoid anything from that as much as possible was a misstep, because I think that gave them material that they could have worked with and could have developed into being a better overall sequel trilogy. So, in short, I'm appreciative we got to see the movies. I'm appreciative we got to see Carrie Fisher back in her role before her untimely passing. And I'm not going to say that, I didn't enjoy going to the theater with my friends and my family to see Star Wars movies again. So I am appreciative of the sequels. But in that same regard, I can still be disappointed a little bit in how they turned out and the fact that I feel like they could have been so much better if certain things were done a different way. But hindsight is 2020, and they're here, they're part of the universe, so we just have to make the best of it and hope for the best moving forward. But that's going to be all I got for you this time. I appreciate you watching the video. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on the sequel trilogy, and as always, may the force be with you, and let's blow up that like button and go home.